Hey everybody, how's it going? Noba here. Today we're going to be doing a bit of a thought experiment. I wanted to record a video about me yapping. I know, shocker. I want to yap about if I could transmit a message to myself in the past about the theme of happiness, okay? What would I say? And the reason that I'm having this conversation is because today now, I find that happiness comes easily to me, and it's one of my strengths. However, Noba in the past, happiness was a struggle, especially like when I was a teen. So if I could, and then for this hypothetical, we're also going to look at it in terms of like, if that sentence that I could give myself in the past would somehow be believed, right? Because, you know, I think that teenage Noba or even younger adult Noba would probably not have been very receptive, right? So let's assume that for this thought experiment, I can like drill something into my brain, you know, but it can only be one sentence. What would I drill? And I want to talk, you know, I have no script. I want to just kind of talk through my thought process about what I have now that I didn't have then, and then formulate that into a sentence. The first thing that came to mind when I had this original thought was presence of mind. That's I think through development of myself and training and really hard work, I have found that being present in my surroundings and situations has led to a lot of happiness. When happiness was for me a struggle, I found that my mind would wander frequently, you know, and what I would think about was something else. So like, let's just say, like, for example, I'm at dinner with my family, right? I would be thinking about something else, not the conversation at the family, right? I was the guy, like, I'd be on my phone at the dinner table, right? And, you know, we could talk about, like, what that's like for people around you, because, like, that's, but that's a whole nother thing. So a lot of happiness, I think, does come from just living in the moment. For me, in my life, I have experienced that by living in the moment, like fully not being distracted, right? No matter what it is, like, even if it's something as casual as like eating food, right? Like, I would always eat food, dispassionately when I was like, particularly like 17 or 18, like right when I was leaving for college. I would eat food dispassionately, with my mind somewhere else, right? Like, the food was just like a means to an end for survival. It wasn't like an enjoyable experience. Now, whatever I do out throughout my day, I live it and I focus on it being enjoyable, right? So like, if I'm gonna go take a shower, it's not like, okay, another day, another shower. It's like, I get to take a shower today. Like, you know, that's pretty fun. You know, we get to play in water. So to summarize that part of the sentence I would deliver to myself, I think my first few words are gonna be to old Noba, or past Noba, young Noba. My first few words to young Noba are gonna be, have a present mind. Yeah, I think that's the first one. Because I think that in order for happiness in my life, that presence of mind has been big. Now, we have more sentence to work with. I might even write this down on a notepad. So first, right now we have a present mind. So let's keep building this. What other aspects, I'm wondering, what other aspects of happiness, you know, do I really see? For me, here's a big one too. People around me, right? I have found that not thinking about other people as much has led to a lot more happiness. You know, so let me just share my experience, especially when I was in college. Old Noba really was worried about someone else's perception of me. So even if I was at like a restaurant or something, I would think like, how do people see me? And I think to a degree, that's a really healthy thought, right? Like, you don't want to show up stinky and ugly, right? You want to, like, you know, care about your appearance. However, for me, it was excessive to the point of worry. And it was like a downward spiral of shame almost, right? And now, you know, a really, really, really good example is like, if I'm in public now, like waiting at line in a grocery store, and let's say there's like a little kid, right? Like there's a little kid in front of me or behind me. You know, old Noba is like ignoring that kid. Now it's like, I'll like stick my tongue out at the kid, you know, or like I'll tease the kid, like whatever, make a funny face. I don't know, like just do something silly, right? It's just a lot more happy, right? Like things, you know, things like that, just like little things. I think that, again, that does kind of also come from presence of mind a little bit, which is what we wrote down. Have a present mind. However, to level that up even further, I think it's like, to summarize that, it's sort of like a independent thought thing. You know, it's like where I'm at is like, I am my own person and I will act the way I want to act and not let others influence me. So then maybe we could add like, I think independence of mind is what I'm going to write. You know, I'm not convinced that that's like a perfect sentence, but so right now I have presence of mind and independence of mind. Does that make sense? Independence of mind. We'll get it. We'll fix it. So we have a present mind, an independent mind. And then the other, you know, the other big thing, and again, this for me stems from my relationships, like especially with like my parents, right? I found that, especially teenage Nova, if I could instill something, it would be like, don't be attached to any particular outcome, right? So for example, let's say I'm going to like a theme park, right? And I want to do this ride, and this ride. And let's say one of the rides is closed. It's like old Noba's like, okay, that's just shattered my entire experience, right? Because I had like a really strong expectation of what I wanted to happen. Okay. And then again, like I said, that shows up for me in relationships a lot, right? Like I would expect people to do things and that just doesn't work, right? Like people aren't very receptive to that sort of expectation, right? And so I think that I want to also, again, this is going to probably be the last part of my sentence, but I would want to drill into myself, I think like a release of that expectation, you know, to release that. Now, how would I say that? Because again, we want this in one sentence. I think, let's see, we're just going to write down release expectation. Okay, so now we have a present mind, an independent mind, and to release expectation. So let's see, we're going to write the sentence and then I'll put that on screen. How about release your expectations for particular outcomes, maintain an independent and present state of mind. Okay. If I could write a message to myself and have it just drilled into my consciousness and believe it, here's what I would write. Release your expectations for particular outcomes and maintain an independent and present state of mind. Listen, I never said the sentence had to be grammatically correct, okay? That's my excuse and we're sticking to it. Release your expectation for particular outcomes and maintain an independent and present state of mind. That's pretty good. Yeah, that'd be pretty good. You know, if I could have that, I think that would have saved me a lot of pain and trouble. But yeah, I thought that was actually a really fun little thought experiment. So thank you everybody for coming. Bye.